Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Just getting a few things set up. Give me one moment, please. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's get started. So, this evening's class is about abundance, and it is about manifesting abundance, trying to create more abundance, health, happiness, flourishing. Um, and I'm delighted to be leading this class. So to start, I'm going to invite everyone to enter in the chat if you would like to. One thing you are hoping to get away from today's session, or what would you like to learn related to this topic? And I'll give everyone a few minutes if you're comfortable. If not, no worries. And then I also would like to invite everyone to get out a piece of paper and a pen. And this is just for yourself, but to write an intention, to set an intention of what you would like to manifest. And since we're talking about abundance, I'm going to suggest that abundance is not just the abundance of finances, although that's generally what I think many of us think about when we think about flourishing and abundance, um, but abundance of health, abundance of great relationships, happiness, and all positive things in our life. So I want you to get out a pen and a piece of paper and write down one goal, what for what you would like to bring more flourishing and abundance to in your life. And give everyone about a minute to write down your goal and to enter in the chat if there is something that you, and if you're just joining us, we're just doing a little exercise where we are writing in the chat what we would like to learn or what we're hoping to get out of today's session. And then we're also getting out a piece of pen and paper. And this next part is just for us. And we're going to write down one goal of something we would like to manifest in terms of our flourishing and abundance. And it could be, I want to manifest flourishing and abundant love-filled relationships, or I want to manifest $5,000 or $50,000 or whatever the case may be, or I want to create more flourishing and this is my goal. And that's just for you. So we have a little set point. Okay, so I'm going to look in the chat. Come on, people. You can write something in the chat. Let's go. I'm just teasing. Okay, let's get started then. So I am going to guide us all into a meditation and a practice. I'd like everyone to close your eyes and to set your intention. What would you like to accomplish? What would you like to manifest? Reflect on the goal that you have written down. So, the aspect of your life that you're wanting to bring more flourishing and abundance to, whether it's, like I mentioned, a relationship, health, your bank account, what have you. I want you to close your eyes and reflect on what are the reasons that you would like that manifestation to take place. Take a moment for that. Next, I want you to reflect on how would it feel to have the manifestation of that goal right now? So, for example, let's say I would like to have more financial flourishing. Okay, the reason I would like to have more financial flourishing is because I would like to have more freedom to be able to travel, see the world. I'd like to be able to create a new volunteer project, like to be able to yada, 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 fill in the blank. And the feeling that I would feel by having that manifestation of abundance is peace, freedom, joy, harmony, happiness. So if you're following along on your piece of paper, you're going to write down your goal, what you would like to bring more flourishing and abundance to. Second is, what are the top 1 to 3 reasons that you would like to have that manifestation? And third, what are the feelings that you would experience if that manifestation were to take place now? And if that manifestation were to take place now, you would be feeling these emotions: happiness, freedom, joy. Okay, so now that we have that written down, we'll come back to that a little bit later. I'm going to just briefly introduce myself. My name is James Carter, Dr. Carter. I am a licensed acupuncturist. I'm also a student of Master Sha for the last 10 years, and I run 2 busy acupuncture clinics, and we focus on treating chronic health conditions, chronic pain, all kinds of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual conditions I support people with in their lives. And of course, a common one is the desire to have more flourishing and abundance. And so I've found over the years that this kind of 3-step process of writing these things down is a great first step. The next step is I love to integrate Master Sha's, what he calls, or what is known as, the Tao technologies. And so Master Sha has these incredible system of tools that include things like Tao calligraphy, Tao light meditations, treasures, etc., etc. And what's really unique about Master Sha's system is it gives you the ability to start to change and transform the energy and message that you're carrying so that you can approach different aspects of life, health, relationships, finance with totally new information and create what you're wanting to create in a much smoother and efficient and simpler way. So to start, and this class will probably be around 45 minutes, I'd like to guide everyone through a practice, meditation, and visualization. I'm happy to make this class as interactive as possible. And so if you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat, and I will be delighted to answer them or support you in any way that I am capable of. And so, awesome. So we have a few sharings in the chat. So Holly shared, I'd like to learn how to successfully heal and release mindsets, attitudes framed around there's never enough for me. This is primarily in relation to finances. Thank you for sharing, Holly. I think all of us can really relate to that statement. And it comes from a lot of things in our culture and just our society, and it's passed down. And it's definitely something that we can work on and overcome. But it's a really, you've already taken the first step, and that's kind of recognizing and being aware that that's kind of been the predominating pattern for you. Next is Ginger Williams shares, I want to set intention. better relationship with sister. Okay, perfect. So this process of writing it down will be really helpful later to keep. And then remember, this part of you writing it down on paper is just for you, and you keep that just private for you. And I would encourage you to really do that three-step process is setting your intention and taking the time to interview or feel into your system as you're setting that intention of what your goal is. And then secondary to that, why, reflecting on why do you want that? So in the case of setting intention, better relationship with sister, beautiful. I think we all want as good relationships with our siblings. They're sometimes they're have all kinds of interesting dynamics because we've generally known them for our whole life. So they're unique relationships, right? And so think about what are the main reasons that you want to have this better relationship with your sister, and then write those down. I want to have more harmony, peace, etc. And then the third part is, how is it going to feel if that were to happen right now? It would feel heart opening, peaceful, loving. You'd feel connected. And so reaching for those, finding ways to feel those emotions and those feelings and those perceptions now is one of the techniques I'm going to talk about for creating that kind of blueprint, that grid that can then fill in. Okay. And then Jean Alvarado shared, I would like to introduce a healing business in my community in Texas through Reiki and Tao technologies. That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, absolutely. There's certainly no shortage of need. And so that's a really exciting endeavor. And would be just curious if you have broken that down into actionable steps that you'll be able to facilitate and take. So feel free to extrapolate on that if there's any way that I can support you or if you have any questions. But I think that's phenomenal. And I'm sure that that community is very blessed to have you and will be very excited when you're offering your services. How exciting. Beautiful. Yes, I've been working on this for a while as I heal myself too. Okay, terrific. Well, thank you for sharing that, Jean. And hopefully I will share some new things or some things that will be helpful, beneficial, or of value to you. So, okay, terrific. Welcome, Sandy. Okay, so now that I have sufficiently yapped, I would like to introduce my favorite Tao technologies and practices that I implement on a really regular basis to connect with the feelings and vibration of abundance and flourishing. So, one of the magic keys that I've personally experienced when it comes to this is the first, the recognition that we actually are already extremely abundant. And so in Master Sha's teaching and system, we have what's called the qualities, the 10 Da, the greatest qualities. And starting to recognize and see the areas in which we are already abundant is a great way to funnel and add our energy to that and to create more of that. And actually being grateful and appreciative and cognizant of what we have that is abundant already within and around us tends to draw back, attract, and create more of that. Oh, terrific. We have some people, more people joining us. Okay, so wonderful. So I'm just going to repeat this one more time. I hate to sound like a broken record, but this is an important piece here. So what I was going to suggest is everyone get a piece of paper or a little a post note or something, and I want you to write down three things. The first is, and I tried to simplify this for a 45-minute class, right? This is a lot, it's thousands of hours worth of information, right? So just distilling it down in like a little tidbit that you can use and hopefully it will be helpful to you. Okay, so the first thing you write down is, what would you like to bring more abundance to in your life? And of course, that could be finances. That's normally what people think of. Okay, I want more money in my bank account. I want more financial abundance. But it could also be, I want abundance of health. I want abundance of loving, positive relationships. I want an abundance of compassion for others. I want an abundance of fill in the blank. So write down one thing that is your specific goal, and that's private to you. And the second is, why do you want that? So, what is the reason? Well, I want more abundance because I want to be able to see the world, or I want to be able to, hopefully, it's something that is for the good of humanity and not just like a designer purse. No, I'm just kidding. But it would be something like, okay, well, I would like more abundance so I can see the beauty of nature, so I can start that new garden project, so I can adopt another pet, or whatever the case may be. That's your goal, your reasons. And then third, and you can number these, is what would it feel like if that manifestation took place right now? What would be the feelings of that? So let's say you did have another $20,000 in your bank account. Okay, how would that feel to you? Well, it would feel like happiness, freedom, joy, peace, excitement, enthusiasm. Identify those emotions by feeling what it would like to create that now. That's step 3. Step 4 would be, let me know if I'm going too fast. Any questions so far before we go on to the next part? Okay. Okay, so gonna identify, step 4, the ways in which we are already abundant and the things in our life that already cause us to feel that. The frequency and vibration of gratitude is the key to progress, right? In Master Sha's teaching and system. So I'm going to challenge everyone. Some people, okay, perfect. Maria said, please repeat the first and second. Absolutely. So the first was, what would you like to create more abundance of in your life? And I'll create a handout for this too. And the second would be, why would you like that? A sentence or a few reasons or a few words about why you would like that as an abundance. Okay, I'll give everyone a minute or two. And fourth is identifying the aspects of your life where you receive those things already. And there's a reason we're doing it this way. This is a great way to release mindsets, attitudes, and beliefs, attachments, and blocks in like a kind of a methodical way. Okay, so we're actually all quite abundant, and we're abundant in many different aspects of life. We have an abundance of oxygen. That would be one example. And our abundance of oxygen could be the reason we choose to feel gratitude and therefore experience progress. We have an abundance, most of us, of food. We have an abundance of information available to us. So one of the ways that you can start to break down, if you feel like you're a person who carries a lot of, which I think we all do to a degree, right? You're carrying information or attitudes that feel like they're blocking you from having more abundance. You can start to get really aware of those things, the ways in which you are already abundant, and then to focus on them in a way that causes you to feel the emotion and therefore the vibrational frequency of the outcome of the goal that you set. So we're doing some bidirectional engineering here with the energy and frequency and vibration of words, information, and data. And then what's so brilliant about Master Sha's entire system is that you can do this essentially manually using the Tao calligraphies and the Tao technologies. So Okay, now we've done kind of the mind heavy part of this process. Next, I would like to introduce a very simple practice because I'm assuming that if you are brand new, this might all sound a little bit, what is this guy talking about? Well, I'm going to teach you a very simple mantra and meditation that you can implement that over time could potentially help you create more positive information around your finances and your peace of mind. And again, if you have any questions, please enter them in the chat. I want this to be as useful and hopefully interactive as possible. Okay. So in Master Sha's system of healing and tools and service, there's a concept called affirmation or mantra. And the teaching goes on a simple level, what you repeat, what you chant is what you become. And the foundation of that would be for all of us are usually always chanting or affirming something in our consciousness, in our thoughts. And oftentimes it's not actually what we're wanting to create, but rather what has been created that we don't want. And as a result of that, that causes us to feel emotions. So let me give you an example. A common one that I have coached people through is, I don't have enough money. I've never had enough money. How can I create more money? And that is the process or the way that gramophone record is constantly spinning. Or the prevention of trying to prevent the loss of or worried about or fearful about money, right? I'm just using that as one example. It could be relationships, it could be another aspect of life. Any questions so far? And so one of the things that is a really useful tool is integrating and using affirmations as a way to start to replace that inner dialogue, but taking it a step farther, not just using simple affirmations, but using affirmations and mantras that carry vibrational and energetic power, that carry the frequency and vibration that can actually transform the circumstance or the situation that we're wanting to transform. So the first one I'll share with you is called Da Cheng Sheng. Da Cheng Sheng. So this is a mantra and affirmation that means greatest flourishing that you can chant anytime. So let's do a simple practice with this powerful mantra. And I'm going to keep this very simple. I'm sure if you are familiar with any of this, that there's layers and layers you can add on to these kinds of practices. But in a simple way, you would first start by placing both hands on your lower abdomen. Close your eyes. Focus within yourself. And start taking a few slow, deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And be aware of what's going on within yourself. So one of the ways that we start a practice in Master Sha's healing system is using soul power, mind power, body power, and sound power. So sound power would be the tone, the sound, Da Cheng Sheng. Body power would be the positioning. So we're sitting up straight, hands are rested on our lower abdomen. This helps to facilitate the flow of energy properly within the body. Use our mind power. We're going to visualize golden light inside our lower abdomen. And we're going to connect with the essence, the information and or some would say the soul of the mantra. So repeat after me. Dear soul, mind, and body of Da Chang Sheng, love, honor, and appreciate you. You have the power to boost, strengthen my ability to generate abundance. So appreciative. Thank you. Follow along with me. And remember, we're putting our awareness and our intention and our visualization of gold light in our lower abdomen. And if the mind starts to wander, you redirect the focus. That's the practice of starting to bring the energy back down into our core, where our ability to create is much stronger when we are grounded. Da Chang Sheng, 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 Da Chang Sheng. Be aware of the noise and interference and how the mind can kind of get you off track. Be aware of that if that's what's happening. Redirect the focus back. We're doing a practice. Practice is not perfection. So if the mind is wandering or you feel irritation, sadness, fear, grief, blah, doesn't matter. Redirect the focus. Da Chang Sheng, 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 Da Chang Sheng. Okay, we're going to turn up the volume now just a little bit. I'm going to bring up a animation of a practice that is available for free. It's also from the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field book, and it is for financial abundance. And we're going to do the practice now with that animation. Just follow along, follow the animation, the best of your ability. Don't have to worry about being perfect.
Chang Sheng.
And so what's happening here is you're first breathing into the core of the body, the Huiyin acupuncture point that sits right at the center of the body between our reproductive system and our buttock. It's right in the center of the perineum. And there's an energy center there. You breathe into that area and then visualize the light moving into your lower abdomen.
Chang Sheng. 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 长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生。
Okay. So just want to take a moment for everyone to reflect on how they are feeling right now. Feel free to enter in the chat if you're feeling a little bit sleepy or kind of relaxed or zenned out. You might also not feel much of anything. It's perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong here. I want you to come back to that list of the goals you had written down. 1, 2, 3. What was your goal? Reflect on what is the manifestation? What are you wanting to have more abundance in? What aspect of life? Second is, what is the reason that you want that? Third is, how are you going to feel when that occurs? And fourth is to focus on and become aware of and feel gratitude for the things that you already have in your life that are abundant. And then to transform the energy and to bridge the goal and to start to create the goal, we do the Tao technology practice. So next we're going to move on to step 2 of the practice for a few minutes. Then we will do step 3. Then we'll do a short meditation and conclude our session. So let me go ahead and bring up the practice. Follow along.
长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生，长生。 长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生。长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生。长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生，长生长生长生。
Okay, next we're going to move on to the last practice. And these are all available in Master Shah's Tao Calligraphy Healing Field book. It's a fantastic book. Definitely a must have if you are wanting to have simple, easy to implement, effective practices for healing or creating abundance in your life. Master Shah also has a book about financial flourishing, which is more of the focus, called Soul Over Matter, which you can get on Amazon. And I think you can get it directly from Master Shah's website, and it's very inexpensive. It's a really amazing book. And there's a number of different practices and sacred mantras that you can use in that book. Okay. And next, we're going to do this for a few minutes, 3 minutes practice. Step 3. It's a little bit more complex. So if you're having a hard time following along, just listen to it, do the breathing practice. You'll still have a benefit. You're still generating and creating positive information, even if you're not able to fully do the practice.
Chang Chang Sheng, 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 Chang Sheng. 长生，长生，长生，长生，长生， 长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生。长生长生长生长生。
Okay. Close your eyes. Take a few moments to put your attention and your intention within yourself. Observe and feel. How is your body feeling? How is your mind feeling? How is your heart feeling? We just did 3 layers of practice using Master Sha's animations for the Tao technology. Sacred mantra, Dao Chang Sheng. Would anyone like to share how they are feeling? Feel free to enter it in the chat and or unmute yourself. And perfect. So, oh, hello, Terry.
Hello, James.
Good to see you.
So by the time we got to step 2, I started yawning. When we got to step 3, I was yawning more. And that, for me, that always means there's blockages that are clearing. So thank you for reminding me of this in the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field book.
Yes. And I would encourage everyone, you can play that on loop. You can loop that in the background while you sleep, while you meditate, or whatever feels appropriate for you. But if you have a business, you can play this in the background on low to create the positive energy in the field for your business. You can even spend 15 minutes a day following along with the animation. Okay, perfect. So that is everything that I had planned for this session today. I will make a note to create a little handout just with the bullet points of what we did, and I can get that over to someone the next day or so, and then hopefully email that out to you. And I just want to thank everyone for joining and your participation. Thank you very much. And thank you for allowing me to lead this little class. I hope it was helpful in some way to you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening or morning or afternoon or wherever you are. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Much love to everyone. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you so much, Dr. James, for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
And I want to just remind everybody or make you aware, next Wednesday night, we will have another Breathe, Balance, Blossom session. And I'm not remembering if there's one more Friday night or if we're going to move into October. But if it's another Friday night in September, it'll be another perspective on finances, how to boost, how to transform, reminding some of us for practices that we've forgotten about. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Dr. James. Love you all.
Thank you.